Okay, guys, we need to talk about the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively situation. I am locked in. See, everybody's waiting around for the Diddy trials. I get that. He's probably going to be thrown underneath the prison. But this situation, this lawsuit, the timeline of events, it's a movie in of itself. So the film that I'm referring to that came out last year in 2024 was It Ends With Us. On the surface, the film looks like a standard romantic drama. A florist named Lily Bloom trapped in a toxic relationship with a surgeon, complicated by the return of an old flame. Now, this doesn't seem like a film that I would be in any rush to see, but it resonated with its target audience. Frustrated women looking to escape their own lives with a tearjerker, or women who need another reason to hate men. The movie made over $350 million off a $25 million budget, a solid success. For Blake Lively, this was supposed to be her breakout role, the one that finally cemented her as an A-list actress, but that dream quickly turned into a nightmare, one that involved lawsuits, betrayal, and Hollywood power plays. This whole disaster started in 2016 when Colleen Hoover's novel It Ends With Us became a massive hit. In 2019, Justin Baldoni bought the rights to turn it into a film. He threw everything into it, making it his passion project. But things got messy when Blake Lively entered the picture. She wasn't just any actress. She was married to Ryan Reynolds, one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, and that's where the real trouble began. Lively signed on in 2023 to star in the film, and everything started falling apart. She was supposed to play a 23-year-old character, but at 35, she clearly didn't fit that mold. And then, in typical Blake fashion, she insisted on putting her stamp on the character, starting with the wardrobe. She basically threw the entire costume design department out of the window and designed her own outfits, which, let's be honest, were a bit of a fashion disaster. That wasn't the only issue. Blake was reportedly unprepared for the role, hadn't even read the book and didn't understand her character, but that didn't stop her from making changes to the script. And these weren't small tweaks. They were major rewrites affecting everything from the dialogue to the entire scenes. And if you don't believe me, Justin Baldoni kept the text message of Blake Lively referring to herself as the Game of Thrones character Khaleesi, explaining that she has these two dragons just like Khaleesi. Now, you could either be my friend or you could be my foe. But trust me, with these dragons that I have behind me, that have my back, you're going to want to fall in line. Now, who are these two dragons that she's referring to? Ryan Reynolds, of course, and Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift and Blake Lively are like besties. I think Taylor Swift is the godmother to one of her kids. It's that close. So now Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds are getting involved. The context to this exchange was Blake Lively setting up a meeting between Baldoni, Taylor Swift, and Ryan Reynolds. And Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift are basically going, "Oh wow, did you see how great these changes that my wife made? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My best friend, she's doing such a great job. She's working so hard. You should really follow through. You should really commit. You should really commit to making these changes. She's been working really hard, you know. I'd hate to see her disappointed. We would hate that." That's basically how the meeting went. Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds were being passive aggressive and wanted to convince Baldoni to, follow through with what changes Blake Lively wanted to make. She even dragged her husband Ryan Reynolds in to rewrite one whole scene just to make her look better. Because let's face it, who would say no to Ryan Reynolds, right? Certainly not Baldoni. This situation only got worse when Blake accused Baldoni of body shaming her. She claimed he kept asking about her weight, which according to him was because he had a bad back and was trying to figure out if he could lift her in a particular scene without having to be in a wheelchair for the rest of filming. But Blake wasn't having it and accused him of much worse, like inappropriately walking into her trailer while she's breastfeeding. However, Baldoni showed the receipts and he was invited in, and she let him know that she was breastfeeding. But that's not him walking in on you breastfeeding now, is it? She also claims that there was no intimacy coordinator that was on set, which I assume is the responsibility of the director or producer or whoever, right? Baldoni's job. And then he brings out the receipts again that show that he asked her to meet the intimacy coordinator. He already had an intimacy coordinator lined up, and she refused to meet her. She rejected an intimacy coordinator because, in her own words, she felt that it wasn't necessary for particular scenes. Not only that, but Blake also accuses Baldoni of making her feel too uncomfortable during improvised scenes. Like, I guess he was too touchy-feely. He was saying things that were inappropriate, excessive flirting, things of that nature, right? And she claims she did in one particular scene that wasn't supposed to have any audio, so the characters weren't even supposed to be talking in the first place, but he left the audio on. He kept the audio on. That audio didn't make it into the film, but he left the audio on. And look what they're saying.
And they win!
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I we have these moments where
Staring.
we're
You just stare.
we've done it for like 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally look at each other and like
When
time
I found a sociopath.
and like time stops.
Yeah.
But like that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's
And they score again.
Again. It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won the Stanley Cup.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
They're having a friendly conversation. Not only that, but they're actors who are acting. They have to sell the scene that they are in love, that they're falling in love. This is a very important scene. Now, mind you, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were apart for about 6 months. Ryan Reynolds was busy filming Deadpool and Wolverine in Canada, and I think Lively was in New Jersey filming It Ends With Us. Then after 6 months of filming, they had the writer's strike. So all movie production was out on hold. So those two are living together again while everything blows over. Now, it is alleged that around this time, Ryan Reynolds saw something he didn't like. I mean, in the lawsuit, Baldoni mentions that not only are we so friendly and cordial that she would invite me into her trailer while her titties are out, but she also invited him over to her house, and she held one of her kids. Look how close they are. Does that look like an evil man? An evil, abusive, unfair, inappropriate man, co-worker, director? Does at this time we assume that Ryan Reynolds, I don't know, saw the video camera, got a little suspicious, asking about, where's the intimacy coordinator? I don't know, but I guess he saw something that he didn't like. Maybe there was an affair. Maybe Ryan Reynolds didn't like how kindly Blake Lively spoke of Justin Baldoni. I don't know, but it was at this time where Ryan Reynolds wanted to take over the film. I started asking for all the dailies and bringing some of the people who are working on Deadpool and Wolverine to edit some scenes. And in this hostile takeover, Lively invites Baldoni over to her place to speak to her representative for some changes that she wanted to make moving forward if she were to continue the film. Now, Baldoni comes over, and the representative that she had was Ryan Reynolds. And apparently, Ryan Reynolds berated him for about 20 minutes, just degrading him, humiliating him, demanding an apology. And this was in front of some of the people Baldoni was working with, who brought with him his representatives, I assume. Ryan Reynolds didn't care. just little broed that man. So anyways, things didn't settle there. Once filming wrapped in early 2024, Blake wasn't done. She insisted on having a hand in the editing process despite not having any contract for it. What started as a couple of days in the editing bay turned into a 10-day ordeal. Eventually, she brought in the editor from Deadpool and tried to put together her own version of the film. Baldoni, of course, had his own director's cut, but the studio now had two competing films. Now, Justin Baldoni wanted to stay true to the original tone of the source material. It's domestic violence. It's supposed to be tough to read, right? It's supposed to be dark and a bit on the edgy side. However, Blake Lively wanted to make this a rom-com, a night out with the girls. And they screen tested these two versions. And the director's cut was way more popular than the rom-com cut. However, it didn't matter because Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively already had control of this film, right? They basically pushed out the person who got awarded the rights to this film. So I'm kind of upset that this film didn't bomb. But if it did bomb, they'd probably still manage to find a way to blame everything on Baldoni. In fact, they'd award him with more credit. So what was Blake's next power move after the filming of this movie ended? She allegedly threatened not to promote the movie unless they released her cut. And shockingly, the studio caved, but that wasn't enough for her. She pushed for a full Producers Guild credit, which would basically mean that she was considered the main producer on the project, undermining Baldoni's role. But Blake wasn't done. She allegedly bullied the rest of the team into supporting her, and when they didn't, she had her husband, Ryan, pull the strings to get Baldoni dropped from his talent agency and completely isolated him from the rest of the team. Talk about a power move. And since we're talking about power moves and degrading men until there's literally nothing left of them, at the movie premiere, I guess Blake Lively threatened not to show up unless her and Baldoni are in completely separate rooms. And by separate rooms, I mean separate levels. And by separate levels, I mean if y'all don't put Baldoni in the basement, I am not showing up and I'm going to ruin this whole movie. We're not going to get any money back. I'm a stir some ish up and pin it all on you, Baldoni. Let me freaking find out we're on the same floor. That's what happened. There's even a photo of it. Baldoni, with his friends and family, trying to make a good time out of a bad situation, are left in the basement with all the waters. The waters. The cased up waters. That's how bad it was. They got their popcorn and they're just chilling, having a good time. I respect that. I respect that they wouldn't let anything keep them down. So Blake was out there promoting a film about domestic abuse like it was the next Girls' Night Out movie, all while shilling her own booze brand. The public began to notice the shift. Critics called her out for making light of the film's serious themes. Her reputation took a massive hit after this. This led to people doing their own research on who Blake Lively really is. And they found some old interviews that she's done before. And they came to the conclusion that Blake Lively, kind of a bitch. They didn't need convincing. They just watched how she'd interact with other people and watched how she's promoting this film, a serious film about domestic violence, and she's tee-hee-hawing the entire time and avoiding answering serious questions and promoting her hair care line and this booze brand. Then came the lawsuit. Blake filed a civil action against Baldoni, accusing him of inappropriate behavior on set and a hostile work environment. The media quickly railed around her, and Baldoni was branded as the villain. But just when it seemed like he was going to be finished, Baldoni fought back. He sued the New York Times, claiming they spread false information about him, and he came with receipts, text messages, emails, and other evidence showing that Blake was the one who hijacked the film and that she had manipulated the entire situation. The drama didn't stop there. Blake escalated the situation, filing a federal lawsuit dragging Ryan and their publicists into it. Baldoni, in return, slapped them with a $400 million lawsuit, accusing them of extortion, defamation, and invasion of privacy. He claimed that they used their media connections and Hollywood power to destroy his career and to paint him as a villain, all to make Blake look like a saint. So, what started as a movie project about abuse and trauma has turned into an all-out legal and PR war. What should have been Baldoni's big career moment has now spiraled into one of the messiest disputes in recent Hollywood history. Who's really to blame? Was it the director trying to control his film? Or was it the actress who used her power to make it all about her? With new developments dropping every day, we can only guess how it will all play out. But one thing is for sure, it's one hell of a mess. So if you made it this far into the video, I'd like to say thank you and stop what you're doing and go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so. I would greatly appreciate that. Go ahead and leave a comment on your thoughts. I would like to know who you're siding with. You know, are you on the side of common sense and this bitch is crazy and Ryan Reynolds and everything in the Hollywood industry is fake and it's all about who has the bigger dick to lay on the table and be like, hey, this is mine, and you're gonna abide by what the hell I want because I'm the big dog here? Or you're one of those blue-haired malicious, self-righteous feminists who believe all women? Because this is clearly evidence of a woman you should believe. The next Amber Heard. And if you think otherwise, you're a misogynist and you're worse than scum. Fuck it, I'll be scum.